Are you smart, bro? Wise guy, eh? Some people are just too smart for their own good, and that's real. As long as we have the ability to be honest and are willing to follow a few simple rules. Simple is not the same as easy. See right there, I'm already trying to make much harder work of this than it is, man. All jokes aside, there's really nothing all that hard about working this program. Any of the 12-step programs, they all have the same goal in mind, vital spiritual experiences, right, that have relieved us from a hopeless state of mind and body. So let's run down 1 and 2. So we admitted to ourselves that we were powerless over drugs or alcohol and that our lives had become unmanageable, right? There's 100 pages or so, 101 in the big book that discuss the 12 steps. The first 60 of those pages discuss step 1. I don't know if that means that Bill Wilson really wanted us to understand what we were agreeing to, or whether to accurately appraise ourselves as addicts and alcoholics, to wholeheartedly believe to our innermost selves that we in fact lack the power of choice and control over our drinking. Now, the easiest way to classify ourselves is really simple. They ask 2 questions in the book, okay? Every time you go out drinking or drugging, can you guarantee me how much you're gonna drink or drug? First question. If every Saturday you meet Joe Bob at the Pay Lake and y'all are gonna fish and you only take a 6-pack and y'all are both just gonna split the 6-pack, can you guarantee me that every time y'all go fishing, you're only gonna drink 3 beers? Hellfire, if I was only drinking 3, I'd be pissed. I wouldn't even waste my time. And the second question is, given sufficient reason, losing your job, losing your wife, losing your house, ill health, the doctor says it's gonna kill you, can you stop and stay stopped? Absolutely not. That is how I know for a fact that I have this disease of addiction. Okay, and 2, I came to believe that a power greater than me could restore me to sanity, right? Even if the power greater than you is the program itself, right? The big book of Alcoholics Anonymous is lightweight still one of my higher powers, because I have 100% faith that if I do everything outlined in that book, that I will have that spiritual awakening. I will be free from the chains of alcoholism. The 3 parts of that legacy: the recovery, the unity, and the service, right? We work the program, recovery, we get involved in the fellowship, the unity, and the giving back, the service, the sponsorship. That as long as I stay plugged in those 3 parts, my experience has been that I am allowed the power of choice back. Okay, now step 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. To me, in a nutshell, what that means is, okay, my will. What is my will? That is my thoughts and my actions, right? How I conduct myself throughout the day. So every morning when I get up, I've got a little recovery routine that I go through, and part of it's reading the daily reflection to start my day off with a little meditation, reflection, if you will. I call it pondering what all God has allowed me to see, even with the lack of literal sight that I have. So every morning I make a decision to turn my thoughts and actions over to Him. I take time to reflect on every situation I encounter through the day, whether it's a text message, a phone call, a DM, whatever the case may be, a decision that needs to be made. Instead of selfishly reacting to all these things, I take a moment to reflect on them, appraise the facts, the truth about each situation before I respond to them. And there are times when I am not sure what the correct response should be. Therefore, I have a sponsor. He is no different than a spiritual advisor. He's probably double time, both of them. So I call him and I will seek guidance. Now 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves, right? I've been haunted by demons, boys, for 20 years. There ain't nothing about this little literature and these little spiritual exercises that is going to terrify me anything near like what them demons by God did. So don't let this scare you off. But every good business has to take an inventory, right? What's the good stuff? What's the bad stuff? Try to identify some truths. So what are my truths that I identified? Okay, starting with resentment. I realized I'm a selfish son of a bitch. That almost every resentment that I had, if I took that relationship, but any of these situations I had resentments with or against, all the way back to the very beginning when whenever this resentment began, the relationship, the whatever, if it was a institution, whatever the case may be. Court systems, if I take it all the way back to the beginning, the roots, when it very first began, every single person I had resentment against, I had selfishly, right, and self-seekingly initiated these relationships with these people because they had something I wanted. It was something I could take advantage of easily. It made whatever the hell I was trying to do easier to do, right? There was selfish intentions, not pure intentions, from the very word go of every single one of these situations. So that set the ball rolling to inevitably end in a shit show. They mention character defects and shortcomings, right? And I've heard it explained to me that a character defect is the overuse of our natural human instincts, the social instinct, the security instinct, the sex instinct, right? And that a shortcoming is the underuse of them, right? Well, my overuse, my character defects obviously are pride, ego, definitely selfishness, self-centeredness, dishonesty. So when there's a battle of the instincts, that, you know, there's always going to be some kind of turmoil. The earth people, the normal people, seem to have pretty well balanced out. Periodically they go a little high, a little low. Maybe they just live on a little bit of the high side, a little bit of the low side, you know, a little more depressed, a little more eccentric, however you want to look at it. But they're pretty well balanced out, you know. For me as an addict, alcoholic, bro, I'm the extreme of all. I'm doing the most, man, or I'm doing the most at doing the least. You feel me? I have a hard time finding that balance. You feel me? That's kind of the idea here, is to balance out these natural human instincts. So the fear inventory is probably the one that has controlled and caused me the most grief in my entire life. Starting as a young man, I was terrified within this internal condition, so uncomfortable and so stricken with fear. It's unbelievable to look back on it now. I mean, goddamn, they say if, you know, we didn't have a drink in 3rd grade, but we sure could have fucking used one. Ain't that the truth, man? I mean, we were smoking cigarettes by 4th grade. I was searching for something on the outside, X on the outside at 4th grade, right? It wasn't long after that I took my first drink, got drunk the first time, trashed my dad's house on one of the weekends. He picked us up to take us out there. And even though I got in trouble, got sick, threw up, wrecked his fucking house, bro, I still couldn't wait to do it again because I was so free during that few hours that I was drunk. I could not wait to do it again. It did so much for me, I didn't care what it did to me. I'm not gonna get into the why I was rattled so much as a kid. A lot of it probably was just genetics. I had ADHD, bro. I had a nervous disposition. A lot of it was. Why my house is on fire doesn't fucking matter. Put the fire out, right? I'm not gonna say, wait a minute, we better figure out why this fire started, you know, before we put the fire out. No, it's not how that works. So if I get stuck, that's one of my problems. One of my huge character defects is this pseudo knowledge of having to put answers to things I couldn't possibly know the answers to. Why is best left unknown in a lot of cases to me, for real, because half the time it's self-justified knowledge that's fucking bullshit and been fabricated. And it does not serve me any positive purpose, only bad. Through identifying all these character defects, just doing this inventory in general, man, finding the good stuff, finding the bad stuff, picking what to keep with my sponsor, you know, having my sponsor identify what's worth keeping, what's worth trying to get rid of, right? And then voicing this out loud to God, and my sponsor helping me see the things that I don't need to fucking know answers to. I don't have to put details to. Like, my career was reading blueprints, every detail, finding shit that was missing. I mean, that was just what I did. I was a problem solver. I had to find all this little missing information, bro, and that's just not real in my life. Finding that peace and serenity with knowing what I'm supposed to know, and not even pursuing the answers to some of the things that I couldn't possibly know the answer to. Being able to see that in real time, in real life, bro, has brought me so much peace. I hope this helps somebody, and I'll pick it up next time. Peace and love, y'all.